The Jefferson County Post is here today with the Town of Dandridge Administrator Chris Shockley. Welcome, Chris. We appreciate you sitting down with us. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors for this video. Dr. Warren Stinson Dentistry. He's at 113 East Broadway Boulevard in Jefferson City, Tennessee. And he's a great place to go for all your dental needs. And Dandridge Brewing Company, which is located right in downtown Dandridge, across from the historic Jefferson County Courthouse at 1237 Gay Street, and it's a great place to go for dinner, listen to some live music, and you can check them out on their Facebook page, Dandridge Brewing Company. So we're going to jump in. Chris, you've been with Dandridge for a long time.
I have, yeah.
So you started out in
2012, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you kind of run the gamut. You've done a lot of things for the town of Dandridge before you landed in the big office.
Yeah, I did. I started as the Assistant Parks and Rec Director, and then Recreation Director, and then Assistant Town Administrator, and now Town Administrator. So
Dandridge is an interesting town. When people think about Dandridge, they think about the greater Dandridge area, which goes, all the way down to Douglas Dam and across the bridge and to Newport, that direction. Mm-hmm. But what is actually the population of the town of Dandridge?
The actual population, according to the 2020 census, is 3,344 folks.
So we're looking at less than 3,400 property taxpayers.
Correct.
In Dandridge, and that census includes kids and people who are no longer paying property, whether they do or do not pay property tax. Mm-hmm. So I think that's important to establish, because today we're going to talk about some myths and facts that seem to surround the town of Dandridge and the financing of things and that kind of thing. So it's important when you're listening to this video to remember that we're talking about 3,000, less than 3,400 people, and fewer than that, property tax owners who are paying property taxes. So what is the current property tax in the town of Dandridge?
The current property tax is 58 1/3 cents, or 0.5813.
So I know that there's recently been a property tax increase on the county side, a 6-cent property tax increase. But Dandridge has not had a property tax increase in many years. Is that correct?
Actually, we've had tax decreases in many years, but not a tax increase. Correct.
We were talking earlier, and we can't. I haven't gone back past a dozen or so years, but at least in a dozen years there has been no. And you said there have been 3 decreases during that.
There have been, yes.
So the property tax in Dandridge falls about a little less than half of what the recent property tax in Jefferson City just came up, a little bit more than Bainbury or Newmarket, however, and White Pine is right in there, right?
They are right about 60 cents. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what kind of services? First, let's talk about what kind of services you get for your property taxes in Dandridge.
Well, so if you start with Public Works, we offer sanitation pickup. So that would be trash and recycling, Class 4, Class 1. All those services they provide, along with street mowing, building and grounds maintenance, those things. Our police department. So we have 12 certified officers in our police department, including the chief. Parks and Recreation Department, of course, we have the Field of Dreams Park. We have the Dandridge Dock, and then we have our Water Sewer Department as well.
That's great. So I did a little math, because one of the myths has been that Dandridge property taxes are really high. Mm-hmm. So I did a little math on what your property tax is a month in Dandridge if you have a property, a house that is valued at $500,000 on your tax assessment. So that's going to get kind of the high end of a tax assessment in Dandridge. I think Dandridge is a little higher than other parts, some other parts. Of course, lake property, be it in Dandridge or out of Dandridge, is always a little bit higher. But $500,000 is a pretty steep assessment for your property. You've got a nice piece of property if you're being assessed at $500,000. It's $60.41 a month. So then I started looking at, and like you said, trash pickup is one of those things, and you will also pick up larger items as well.
We do.
So if you hired a private person to come and pick up your trash, it is very unlikely that you could even get the trash pickup for $60.41 a month, let alone paying the extra fees if you have larger items.
Correct.
So the property taxes are very reasonable in Dandridge, actually.
We do feel like we provide an excellent service for the amount charged, yes.
So that is one of the myths that I wanted to start out with, because social media has been kind of beating up the property tax increase, and whether you are happy with it, most people are happy with property tax increase.
Right.
But if you're happy or not happy with the county property tax increase, lumping the city of Dandridge in with it, or town of Dandridge in with it, is a little disingenuous, because there have been no increases, and it's actually quite affordable. And of course, if your house is valued at less than $500,000, obviously that number goes down, but you still get those same services. So you said we have 12 officers?
We do.
And that's quite a significant increase in the last 20 years or so. Dandridge, I remember when I was growing up, we certainly did not have that many officers. But we have had quite a population boom in the last 10 years in Dandridge. Is that correct?
It is, yes. Well, the 2010 census, we had 2,800 residents. So, 500-600 resident increase in 10 years.
Yes, and that's significant, considering I think the city limits of Dandridge. Do you know how many?
We're 6 square miles.
Yes, I thought it was like something right around 6, 5.9 or something like that. So 500 people that's a significant increase during that amount of time. So another one of the I guess the myth that has been going around is that Dandridge is somehow picking and choosing what kind of industry comes into Dandridge. Like, people are wanting a certain retail type of situation, or that the town of Dandridge has a contract for no compete with certain things. Is that true?
That is not true.
So it is totally up to those industries or retails whether they come into Dandridge.
It is. One of the biggest wishes seems to be a grocery store, and we actively for years have been recruiting grocers. The tough part is population. When these larger grocery stores look for they look for a place to pick their next location, they're going to drop a pin and say how many rooftops are within this area. And so while we are growing, we're just not at that threshold yet. We work very actively with the Jefferson County Alliance, and Joe Gibson is the recruiter for them. And I know he sings the same song, that the population's just not there to support another grocer. We feel differently, obviously, as residents. We haven't been able to recruit them in, but there is no compete clause, anything like that.
So there's one myth that we can knock off the table. We've got 2 now. Property taxes are not outrageous in Dandridge. They are actually extremely affordable for the services that you get, and there has been no increase. And there is not a no-compete clause for a grocery store.
Correct.
Dandridge has and is still actively trying to recruit retail into our area. Now, one of the big money questions in Dandridge, and this has been very controversial on social media and even in meetings, is tourism in Dandridge. Tourism is a big industry for Dandridge. Is that correct?
It is, yes.
And so tell us what can be done with those tourist dollars as far as hotel motel tax that comes in, or lodging tax that comes in.
Yeah, so we do have occupancy tax here in Dandridge. It's assessed. The county gets a portion, we get a portion. We've increased our portion to 4% here in the past year. So currently, the first project with those funds was to build the Dandridge dock. It's been utilized for fishing tournaments, for yoga on the dock, and just as a place to just come relax and visit, fish. those type things. The next project with those occupancy tax funds was the renovation that we just finished at the Field of Dreams. So we were able to utilize a tourism enhancement grant from the state of Tennessee, and partnered our tourism funds with that. We removed all the backstops and dugouts and replaced them with new, more modern split face block and netting style. So we've been able to utilize those funds for that. In this current budget year, we just approved Tuesday night to create a greenway from the library along the lake side there. So, just trying to we try to utilize those dollars to create more reasons for people to be here, and also to better the quality of life for our citizens.
And again, to make it perfectly clear in this myth and facts, those dollars have to be used for those types of situations. They
Yes.
can't be used to offset your property tax.
Correct. Occupancy tax dollars must go towards tourism in some facet. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's been some back and forth on short-term rentals.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the short-term rental monies that come in, are they a part of that occupancy tax? And is there a separate fee, or how is that structured?
They're a part of occupancy tax, and we do have a short-term rental application and permitting process here through the town of Dandridge. The short version of it is it's a initial $300 application fee that goes for an inspection, and basically we're looking for more of the life safety aspect to make sure that as people are coming to Dandridge, they're going to rent an Airbnb that, the life safety standards are in place. So exit lighting, those type things. After that, it's a $100 a year renewal for that permit. And it just makes sure everybody stays in compliance. We know where short-term rentals are. We have roughly 16 of those in the city limits now. And, as development comes, those will grow as well. But, as far as our short-term rentals go, that's the permitting process. That's the reasoning for it.
And because there has been, like I said, a lot of social media on this particular topic, some people are dissatisfied. But as you said, there's only 16 inside the city limits of Dandridge. Do you all have any input in anything outside the city limits of Dandridge as far as what goes on?
We do not. So our jurisdiction would remain inside the city limits, correct?
So we're talking about 16 properties at this point.
Yes.
We're not talking about a huge number of properties. And now Dandridge does enjoy benefits from those in the greater Dandridge area, because obviously they shop here, they eat here, they gas here, they do all those things, but you don't enjoy any occupancy tax off of them, and you cannot govern them.
That is correct, yeah.
So I think that one of the myths that we need to debunk is that these short-term rentals are only a burden, because while you cannot use the tax off of it to offset property tax, they certainly do bring in a great amount of sales tax in Jefferson County.
They do generate revenue, yes.
And Dandridge, I don't have the numbers on that, but I would think that Dandridge is the place where they generate the most, because Dandridge is a tourist town. That's our main industry inside the town of Dandridge, correct?
Yes, I would say that.
And so if there was an impact to that, would that impact the sales tax in Dandridge, do you think?
Potentially, yes. I can. Last week we hosted the NSC Baseball World Series, and I know that a lot of those families were able to utilize short-term rentals for that week. July 4th weekend, all the holidays. As summer comes, I know our Airbnbs, they provide a great service for people who are looking to come to Dandridge.
Yes, and as I said before, as far as facts go, the fact is they do bring in sales tax dollars, which do contribute to the general fund of the town, whereas occupancy tax cannot be used for everything.
Correct.
But those sales tax funds do keep the property tax down for those 3,400 people who live inside the town of Dandridge, and probably about I think I saw about 1,200 property owners are actually footing the bill for, and that would make sense because census numbers include everybody in the house. So they are an important part of the revenue coming into the town of Dandridge, and they really don't have much impact as far as what you all can control inside the town of Dandridge, and you've tried to be as fair to the owners and the communities, correct?
Yeah, we've tried to be. When we looked at our short-term rental permitting process, it was one to ensure that these are good neighbors, right? And so we do have some, we make sure the municipal code's followed. So as far as noise restrictions, parking, just things that could be a nuisance for neighbors. We've tried to set a standard for those. But you're correct. Short-term rentals, they'll pay commercial property taxes, and those who stay here generally shop here, eat here, those type things. So.
All right, that's great. So that's another myth and fact that we've kind of cleared up here. Now let's talk about water in the town of Dandridge. So we're looking at a water increase.
We are.
Inside the town of Dandridge. And some people are unhappy with the rates that they pay. How much control do you all actually have as far as administratively in how much the water costs?
So we are a reseller. We are not we don't generate our own water. We purchase it. And so in that respect, we're kind of at the mercy of what we pay for it. So we were put on notice the first of this year that KUB was going to experience a rate increase. It'll be an 18.2% rate increase over the next 3 years. That's starting this fiscal year with a 6.1% increase. NUB, Newport Utility Board, then followed with a rate increase as well. It was 46.2%. And so that can be a little bit construed because Newport Utility Board only really supplies the Swansylvania area, but KUB is our main supplier, and so essentially the rate increase we're looking at this year is a pass-through, kind of a pass-through rate increase, but it's still not the full impact of what we've incurred. So
there is a misconception that seems to be rather prevalent that Dandridge, actually, the town of Dandridge, your general fund that you can pay your bills with, actually makes money off of the water fees. Water is a separate entity, is that correct?
It is. Water is an enterprise fund for the town of Dandridge, so totally different accounts. That we are totally separate. According to the CMOM for Dandridge Water Management Facility, those funds remain with that entity entirely.
So if, for example, something has to be done beyond monies that they have, they can borrow money from the town of Dandridge, correct?
Correct.
But the town of Dandridge cannot make money off of the water.
Well, actually, they can't even borrow money off of us. So the stipulation would be they could take on their own debt. We can supplement them on sewer projects, but water projects, that's not the case. So essentially, they would be taking on their own debt for any water projects.
So to reiterate, so that it's clear, because I think water is one of those things that people don't really understand. People don't really understand enterprise funds. The county has enterprise funds with water, and they also have highway department to some extent as enterprise separate monies. But the water department in Dandridge is self-sustaining. It's not a money-making project. It is a self-sustaining project.
It is. Any profit, the state of Tennessee regulates that you must make a profit, but those profits end up funding the next project down the road, right?
So it is any monies that are made above what the cost is go into maintaining the water service in Dandridge.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's great. So hopefully that answers a lot of questions, because I think people believe that the town increases water rates in order to make money, and that's not the case.
Correct.
increased rates to sustain the water service because it is purchased outside of Dandridge.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. So let's talk about some stuff that's going on in Dandridge. Well, one more thing I want to bring up as far as upcoming things that are coming up. There are some issues about road congestion in Dandridge, and obviously some of that comes from just an increase in overall population in the greater Dandridge area because it's a pass-through to those areas. So there's a new library project and a new low-income housing project that is going in above the post office, and that particular area on the main road right there is very congested. What are the options, I guess, to mitigate that? Is that going to cause more congestion? What are you all seeing there?
So you're right. The Dandridge School Loft project is completed, and I know they're actively renting those. I don't know how full it is, but there will be a Dandridge location, a Dandridge library relocation headed that way as well. You know, the main intersection in downtown Dandridge is tough because there is no extra right-of-way. We've utilized everything we have there, so there's no room for turning lanes and things of that nature. So we do have a long-range plan for the potential there, but in the short term, we do have some congestion issues there that they're tough to handle right now. You know, we did install a left turn, and that has alleviated traffic from one direction, but it has bottlenecked it on the other side. So, like I said, the additional right-of-way purchase would be the answer, but there's just none there. So, as we continue our infrastructure upgrades, we're working with TDOT to try to utilize some additional right-of-ways from other areas to try to create two new entrances down there. So,
all right. So there is a plan.
Yes.
There is a plan.
There is.
And so, as far as those lofts go, another question is, I know that the lofts had applied for and come before the town looking for a letter, which they were actually declined, of support. And I do know that they got a grant, which is available through Tennessee Housing Development. So is Dandridge going to see any offset for the cost of roads and stuff like that through property tax eventually at some point? Or do you all even know yet?
I think at some point, yes. That this was a new program that was the first one of its kind in Dandridge, and so the state kind of handled the front end of that, and so I'm not exactly sure what the terms are before we'll receive the full property tax on that.
I think that preceded you, actually.
It did, yes.
And so, because I know that there have been a lot of questions about that and what that means to Dandridge, both for traffic congestion and also if there's going to have to be any other adjustments in security or anything like that. So the next thing would be, so if the library is going to the top of where the post office is, what is Dandridge? Are there any plans in the works for what's going to happen to the library? Because there's a lot of projections on what people think might happen to it. So is there a plan in place yet? I mean, I know you're a few years out probably from the library even being moved.
We are. Yeah, we are. And we've had discussions about a lot of things it could be. There are some structural issues that we're going to have to address up there. And so once we get those handled, there's a few options. Obviously, it could be a municipal building of some sort. It could be leased. So we do have a few options of what we could do for it. Obviously, with the greenway going there, we could probably sell it, but I don't know that will be with the greenway going in below it, I don't know that will be something. But there are options for it. Yes.
So there's thought in the process of of making sure that that building's utilized in some way that will benefit the town of Dandridge.
Correct.
So let's talk about the Field of Dreams.
Yes.
There's a lot going on out there. You guys have really stepped that property up over the last several years. And it's always been nice, but it's very nice. And it brings in a lot of sales tax dollars to the town of Dandridge. Tell me a little bit about the Field of Dreams and what's going on down there.
Yeah, so the Field of Dreams, we're obviously extremely proud of it and what it's become. We had 6 ball fields and a football field there before. And then in 2010, council decided to build the activity center. 2012, it was completed, and every program there has taken off. We're obviously very proud of our youth basketball league that we run there. We have right at just under 700 kids that participate, and they come from all over. South Jefferson Little League utilizes the baseball fields for spring ball and fall ball. And they've continued to have extreme success. The Dandridge Broncos have been there for years, and they've kind of been a staple in the English Mountain Football League. Our facilities, we feel like, are unmatched there. Like I said, we just utilized this to the fields to host the NSC Baseball World Series the last week of or 2 weeks ago. So. We have a Touch a Truck event coming up this Saturday from 10 to 2, and so there's just always something going on between shopping expos, baseball tournaments, football games. If you want yoga, silver sneakers class, the endless programming and everything down there. So. For the vision of what the activity center was going to be when it was built, and that entire park, I think we've more than outgrown what that initial vision was.
And you also have people who just go there to work out, correct? People
Absolutely.
There and utilize the services to work out, and memberships are offered if you are a regular visitor to the center. And actually, our grandson had his birthday party there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's even that kind of opportunity. It's a very nice facility. I know that a lot of organizations rent it for their parties or their annual events, or whatever that might be as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've hosted everything from dinners to professional dinners to, like I said, birthday parties. We offer bounce house rentals. Going back to leagues, we offer one of the few youth volleyball leagues in the area as well. So there's truly something for everybody there. We have 3 different types of memberships, from individual to couples to families. We have upstairs is a full service gym, and so we have a little bit of something for everybody there.
Yeah, it is a top-notch facility. It really is. I'm sure that you're very proud of it, and the town of Dandridge should be very proud of it. People are interested in a dog park. That's another one of the big things that we hear a lot. So, is there an opportunity for that? Is there a place for that?
So the current project we're working on at the Field of Dreams is the relocation of a playground and building some outdoor pickleball courts. And so that's our ongoing project now. So we have applied and been awarded a Local Parks and Recreation Foundation grant for that. And so we have had 1 round of bids, and our next round of bids will be opened next BMA meeting. And so once we get this project behind us, then that will be the next focus.
That's great. So what about a swimming pool?
That's swimming pool.
Everybody's asking about a swimming pool for Dandridge.
Those are plans that will be further on down the road. Yes.
Is there space for that?
We are looking looking at a activity center expansion, and once that. So the town of Dandridge is in a very good position debt-wise. The only debt that the general fund for the town of Dandridge owes is the remaining portion of the activity center. And so once that is paid off in 2031, we are looking at an expansion project down there. And through those discussions will become, who knows what will become.
Down the road, actually.
It is not too far away.
barking on 2026's door. And along those lines, exciting things coming up in Dandridge. You have some festivals that are coming up.
We do.
To this fall, and the Music on the Town starts out, I think, next month, right?
Music on the Town. Our first one is September the 4th, and we're going to kick it off with Jim Quick and Coastline. So, yep, that'll be 7 Thursdays in a row for that. It's always a great time. Our visitation is it's been well attended, and so we try to continue to keep bringing in award-winning acts for it. We just had June Jubilee. We will have an Oktoberfest style event as well.
Scott's Irish Festival.
Scott's Irish Festival will be here the September the 26th or 7th that weekend.
The Fall Days Festival is the last Saturday in October. Yes, right before Halloween. And that's a new one. And then, like you said, Field of Dreams always has a lot of stuff that's going on that it can keep people entertained. And then we're looking at Christmas.
Then we look at Christmas.
We have a new ice skating rink that you all rolled out last year, and I think people truly enjoyed that. That was a good time. So when will that open? Like Thanksgiving weekend?
It does. So we typically open it the weekend of Thanksgiving.
Which is the kickoff to Merriman on Main Street. Yes.
It is. They coincide together, and then we'll keep it open through the first of the new year. So that weekend after New Year's Day is when we'll close it off.
And you have Christmas in Dandridge then that starts the November weekend. So Dandridge has a lot going on that's coming up. We just wanted to get some of the myths that are going on and replace them with facts.
Yeah.
So that people, and to the credit of the town of Dandridge, Music on the Town is a totally free event, and it is put on by the town of Dandridge.
It is.
And that's with your 58-cent property tax.
It is, and it's offset by some wonderful sponsors as well. But yes, it is. The town of Dandridge does bear the bulk of that one. So
yes, and Christmas in Dandridge as well.
Christmas in Dandridge,
yes.
As well as and the other one thing, the department we didn't talk about was our fire department.
Oh yes.
And so with our fire department, we're proud of the work those guys do. We cover a large service area, essentially everything in Jefferson County south of I-40. So we run to the Sevier County line to the Cott County line. And so we're proud of what those guys do. We've been able to purchase a few new engines here lately. We have one on order now that'll be here. We're hoping December of this year, but with the way those things are, it may be delayed a month or two. But we're super proud of the new engine that'll be here. And so, just the work that those guys do. And the town of Dandridge, with that large service area, but the town of Dandridge sponsors about 75 to 78% of the funding for the fire department as well.
That is, and they service, and that greater Dandridge area is right at 20,000 people. So that's a lot of surface that is considered the 37725 area.
Correct.
Well, thank you very much for being with us. We wish you the best of luck as you're finishing out this year and moving into new exciting things in the town of Dandridge. And hopefully for everybody listening, we have answered some questions, debunked some myths and replaced them with facts. And now you know where the money goes. And we are looking forward to seeing how everything pans out with these new things that are going on in Dandridge. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you. And I would, our Facebook page is active. All of our departments have one. And so we welcome everybody to contact us through those, through our website, dandridgetn.gov. We're here to help. We're here to serve. So
thank you. And thank you again to our sponsors, Dr. Warren Stinson, 113 East Broadway Boulevard, Jefferson City, Tennessee, and Dandridge Brewing Company at 1237 Gay Street, across from the historic Jefferson County Courthouse. Thank you very much, and thank you, and we will see you soon.
Thank you for having me.